Hello everybody, good day and welcome to the Crystal Phone Centerfold of the Week. And I will try today to talk about something which is almost impossible to talk about, which is the Moldavite. Okay, before we get into the properties of the said stone, what is a Moldavite? Moldavite is part of a classification which is called tektites or glass meteorites. Now these friends are not really a meteorite, which would be a piece of rock or a piece of metal coming from the sky which has been in space for a while and hitting Earth. Now a tektite was born out of the fusion of a meteorite and earth matter. And you can imagine one needs a very big meteorite to create such a huge explosion that the glass or the silica fuses into glass like obsidian and gets hurled back into space and then comes back down. So it's kind of like a fusion between the two. And there's like four major kinds of tektites. One is the Moldavite, which we're going to talk about. The other one is a gray one from Colombia, and I have one piece, and the grayness is really not easy to see. But when I hold it against the light, it's gray. And then there is a Libyan desert glass, which is kind of like a light yellow color. I had a very few in my life of these, and I never really played with them, so I can't say much about them. The Colombian one has the property of making us aware of our shadow side. And the other one is the black tektites from Thailand, which are really closely related in their properties to obsidian. It's an awareness stone, and it's an energetic energizer and protection. Alright, enough said about the rest. Moldavite. Okay, Moldavite. It's really almost impossible to talk about this stone because there's been books written about the Moldavite and pages and pages about what the stone does. Now, as a basic understanding, it never needs to be cleaned, and it loves to be charged by the sun. Now, the vibration of this stone, so to speak, is very, very high, and the very basic understanding what a Moldavite does really is to connect us and make us more available to higher frequencies, to finer energies, to higher consciousness, to connection with other beings which have a different frequency. Everything which is related in our days to spirituality, meaning like really becoming aware and becoming more conscious and being more in the present and using all the tools which are available to further this course. The Moldavite is one of the only ones which is in the neighborhood of a tool for everything. And sometimes I'm laughing when somebody says, oh yeah, this fruit has the highest vitamin C, or this plant cures everything. There's many of them around, and it's the only one. And but with the Moldavite, I would actually concede that regarding our spiritual development, regarding our consciousness, regarding our us opening to higher or different senses, to experience different realities, so to speak. And that in return furthers us because we slowly but surely understand that where we're at is just one part of a story. And what is all of this? Don't ask me. So, before I forget, if you wear Moldavite as jewelry, there was a vision once and an understanding that the Moldavite loves to be touched by gold, the gold touched by silver, which touches the person. And yeah, it's working, right? I mean, Moldavite is really a stone where you just go, wow. And sometimes it's very intense. And by the way, I will post a nice picture about that on the page. And for me, for example, when I started working with the Moldavite, I suddenly had a different relationship to what is a stone doing to a person in this moment. Suddenly a door opened. I had a better vision, a better understanding, or I don't even know what to say. A friend suddenly had a different color creation in his art, which was already amazing, and that went another notch higher, which was for him the best way to develop himself and be himself. So if you want to further your growth and want to speed it up a little bit, a Moldavite is an amazing companion for that. And some people have challenges. I one time in Czechoslovakia, when I went into a store to buy Moldavites, which is like 30 years ago, I got a headache. People do get headaches. The energy can be very strong. And it can be also very, very fine without us knowing what actually really is happening. But it's one of these few stones which just does what is best for us and helps us to proceed on our journey. So I highly suggest everybody to have a Moldavite in one's energy field and consciously work with it. If you want to be more connected and think you have a challenge, use a Herkheimer diamond as a bridge. A little warning, when we were last time in Czechoslovakia, that was mining of Moldavite was outlawed, which is great. So not that much is coming out anymore, even though in reality there's tons of that material. But on the market there is not much real stuff, and there is a lot of fake Moldavites on eBay and other sites where you buy from Thailand or China. And there are a few warning signs. One at least is there for their size, very cheap, and normally a 20 plus gram Moldavite does not really occur that often. They're extremely rare. So if you have a Moldavite of 30, 40, 50, 60 grams, be assured it's a fake one. And so really be careful and only buy in person from good sellers. And so you're more safe. And last not least, I was asked, and I almost forgot, to show some examples. And I showed you the gray Moldavite, which is really hard to see. But here's a Moldavite which has like a curved form. And here's a Moldavite which is almost like a ball. They're all very light green in their colors, and they come in all shapes and sizes. Well, not over 20 gram very often. That's all I can say right now. It's a wonderful stone. Don't miss out. Have a wonderful day, and I'll see you next week.